How's it going, guys? TFF back here again with power rankings after week one. I'm going to break it down 32 to 1, starting with the worst team in the NFL this week, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're already really low on my list, and they turned into the last team. Losing to the Houston Texans the way that they did and showing no real life was not a good sign for Jacksonville Jaguars fans. And the use of James Robinson is also something to be concerned of. I know Urban Meyer came out today. Today is Wednesday, September 15th, and said that James Robinson might be getting a bigger role, but still, that was a disappointing start to the season and disappointing use of their assets. At 31, you got the New York Jets. Rookie quarterback looked good. Corey Davis looked very good, but overall, not a strong team all around in a very tough division. I don't think they're going to move up the rankings anytime soon. Number 30, Detroit. They had an insanely entertaining game against the San Francisco 49ers. I think they look good for stretches. TJ Hawkinson getting his touchdown. Jared Goff looked good for parts of the game. Spells throwing a pick six was also very detrimental, and Jared Goff looking like the Jared Goff we all know in certain patches of the game. I don't think that this is a very strong team with Jeff Okudah, their second-year cornerback, maybe being done for the season. I don't think they have a strong chance. At number 29, Houston Texans. Great showing this past week. Tyrod Taylor looked good. Brandon Cooks looked good, but overall not a good week. Um, they played well, but they didn't look very explosive. Their offense looked decent. Defense didn't look that great, and I just don't think they're a good team going forward. Number 28, Atlanta Falcons. They looked very hopeless on offense and on defense, only putting up under 10 points. It was very disappointing. Calvin Ridley getting shut down. Russell Gage putting up a 0. Mike Davis trying his best. He was putting up good yardage when he got the touches. And Cordell Patterson. It just didn't look like a prolific offense or defense, and not a team I'm excited about. Number 27, the New York Giants. Absolute tire fire right now, especially if Saquon Barkley does not come and play the Thursday night game. I don't think he's going to be doing too well. He did not look that mobile, and he got shut down during the game. I don't think this is a team that anybody should be taking really seriously, and I don't think they have a chance of winning that tough division. Number 26, Chicago Bears. Decent performance, I guess, against the Rams. Not a lot of offensive firepower. Defense wasn't great. Andy Dalton looked a little bit like we should have expected. Allen Robinson getting a lot of targets. Couldn't really convert all of them. Obviously, being guarded by Jalen Ramsey did not help. And David Montgomery was the real star spot of that team, and I think that he has a bright future, but not the Bears in general. 25 is the Panthers. They just had an okay showing. Darnold was Darnold, and I think that Christian McCaffrey is still one of the best players, if not the best player in the league. At number 24, Cincinnati Bengals. Really, really exciting game against the Vikings. Burrow started off quite poorly, but really made up for it. And I think it's an exciting team, but I don't think they're a very good team. 23, Minnesota Vikings. Tough loss to the aforementioned Cincinnati Bengals. Thielen looked good. Jefferson looked good. Cook looked decent in spells. But Kirk Cousins didn't look the best. They put up quite a few scores, but I don't think that this is a team that anybody should really be scared of. 22 Washington football team was a little bit disappointing against the Chargers. I expected them to win. They still have that elite defensive line, but Justin Herbert was carving up that defense. I'm not sure how good they're going to do in the future, but this week's matchup against the Giants should be a great redemption story. Number 21 Indianapolis Colts did not impress me in any facet of the game. Just a middle of the road team, nothing more to say. At number 20, a large draw for the Tennessee Titans. Disastrous performance. Offense looked very poor. Defense looked very poor. Derrick Henry wasn't involved. Julio wasn't really involved. And A.J. Brown was the only one that really looked like doing something. Not a good performance. At number 19, New England Patriots. They looked solid against a tough Miami team. If it wasn't for a fumble by new signing Jonnu Smith, I think they could have possibly won the game. And they did look solid in a tough division. I think they're okay. Number 18, Denver Broncos. Jerry Jeudy going down is definitely going to hurt them, but they still have the offensive weapons to do something. They obviously have an elite defensive line with Bradley Chubb, Von Miller. They have a pretty solid defense in general. I'm not sure how much Jerry Jeudy injury will affect them. And Melvin Gordon also looked good, just a solid team. I'm not sure how much they'll go up and down throughout the season. And number 17, Dallas Cowboys. Offense looked great. Dak Prescott looked like an MVP caliber quarterback. However, the defense did not look good to me at all. I think that they have the chance to move up the list rapidly if they can start racking up some wins with that offense, but for right now they're at 17. 16, Las Vegas Raiders. Max Crosby looked fantastic on Monday night, and so did Darren Waller. Derek Carr was making some big throws. I think this is a solid team. I don't see them really going above like the 10-12 mark on my rankings right now. They're at 16. They moved up a little bit, but I wasn't too impressed with their performance. Number 15, Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts looked amazing. Devontae Smith caught a touchdown pass. Their offense looked pretty good, very good in general. The defense was still a little bit lacking, although they only held Atlanta to very few points. I didn't think their defense was anything stellar. I think Atlanta's offense was just bad, and I think they're a middle of the road team. Number 14, Miami Dolphins. I think the Dolphins look solid. Tua looked okay. Waddle looked good. I think that they're going to be a solid team, very tough to beat in a tough division. 13, the Chargers. I was impressed. Herbert looked good. Keenan Allen, of course, looked amazing. Disappointing from Austin Eckler a little bit. Didn't do as much as I expected, but they're still a very solid team. Number 12, Arizona Cardinals. I think they're this high just because of Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. What a two performances that they've had. Chandler Jones looked like maybe the best pass rusher in the league that game, and Christian Kirk also helped out with some solid touchdowns. I think that they're a very strong team, but Seattle might be the best team in that division, as you'll see. Number 11, Green Bay Packers. Terrible performance. I don't expect them to continue that. Not much else to say. I think they'll be at a higher ranking next week. Number 10, San Francisco. A little bit dodgy defense against a bad Detroit Lions team. However, offense looked explosive. Unfortunately, Raheem Mostert going down is a tough pill to swallow. But I think if Deebo Samuel can look like he does and stay healthy, and George Kittle looks pretty good, I think they're going to be a tough team. Number 9, New Orleans Saints. They moved up a little bit in my rankings. I still think they're an elite team, but it was a massive performance against the Green Bay Packers, so they're going to move up the list. Number 8, Baltimore Ravens. They slid down a little bit. I wasn't too impressed with their performance. Obviously, Peters going down, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards all going down, lots of injuries, but it wasn't really an impactful performance in my opinion. Number 7, Pittsburgh Steelers. They looked great on defense against a Buffalo Bills team who should have been elite offensively. I think the Steelers could do damage. I was not really a fan of how Big Ben looked, though. And Najee Harris had a very light game against the Bills' run defense. That isn't great, so we'll be looking forward to that in the future. Number 6, Buffalo Bills definitely had a down week. I think that they're still going to win the division. They're better than all the teams in their division. Josh Allen had a tough week, but I think they're definitely going to turn it around with their offensive coordinator. They're going to call up some better plays. Number 5, Seattle Seahawks. Very impressive. Russell Wilson looking like his normal early season self, just throwing lots of touchdown passes. I definitely think they're a solid team, and DK Metcalf looked very good. And also Chris Carson. I think they're a solid team, and 5 is fair. 4, even though they lost Cleveland Browns, I think they were very impressive right until the end where Baker Mayfield threw the interception that ended the game. Nick Chubb looked fantastic. Schwartz, their rookie wide receiver, was very impressive. Jarvis Landry was impressive, and I also thought Baker Mayfield for large portions of the game looked very good. They were able to control the clock well until Kansas City really turned it on. I think they're still one of the best teams in the AFC. Might challenge for the AFC title, and that's why I still have them that high after the loss. 3, you got the Rams. Matthew Stafford looked absolutely fantastic, and I'm a huge Matthew Stafford fan, so it was great to see that. Cooper Kupp looked great. Jalen Ramsey looked like the best player on the team, even though they have Aaron Donald, who wasn't as disruptive as I expected, but he was good enough. Darrell Henderson at the starting running back position looked alright. He did his job well, scored a touchdown. I think it's a very solid team all around. Number 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they looked fantastic on Monday night. On Thursday night when they kicked off the season. Brady to Antonio Brown to Gronk to Godwin. They just had so many weapons. The running back position was a little bit sketchy for me. I didn't like how Rojo or Fournette really ran, but I think overall they're a tough team to beat, and they're the second best team in the NFL. Number 1, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. Not much else I can really say about them. Elite passing game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has to really get involved in the run game. Got a lot of touches, but didn't do much with them. Their defense struggled at first against the Browns as they were controlling the clock, but I think that when their offense turns it on, there's no one that can beat them, especially with Hill, Kelsey, and Mahomes all linking up, all having more than 20 targets, basically. It was fantastic to see. And I think the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL currently. Thank you for watching. TFF out, like and subscribe.